How many of you have noticed that there is so much chaos in relationships? There's so much chaos in marriages. And most often, we say that communication is the key. In this video, I would like to share the impact of not having a present emotional father in your life, the impact that it has on your love relationships and ultimately in your marriage. Yes, communication is the key, but you find that most often there are so many misunderstandings that happen in relationships and in marriage. The reason being, first and foremost, before you commit yourself to be known and to be loved by someone else, one has to be in such a place where you yourself, you've got a full knowledge of yourself, a full understanding of yourself, before you commit yourself to someone to really know you and understand you. Because in a sense, when you get involved with someone, you want that person to know you, you want that person to understand you. But how do you expect that person to do that if you don't know yourself, if you don't understand yourself? So communication is the key, but how do you communicate who you are? And if you are to communicate of who you are, do you really understand who you are? So you realize that it's very unfortunate that we grow up with emotionally absent fathers who is meant to forge that self-identity and that self-knowledge and self-understanding into you. Unfortunately, he is not there. But now, what do we do? So, as I have mentioned earlier on in my previous videos, the first step for a human being is to make an effort to know yourself and to understand yourself. But now, the question is, how do you do that? What does it mean? What does it mean to understand yourself? The understanding of yourself traces back to your roots. You really have to understand your parents, because that's where you come from. You really need to understand your father. You really need to understand your mother. But in this case, I would like to focus more on the understanding of your father. It's quite a fact that if he had the knowledge and all the resources that is needed for proper fathering, he could have applied it. He could have done his best. So it's one thing to put a blame on your father, but it's another thing to say, let me try to observe and to examine him to get to that point of understanding his position back then. Because remember, the moment a man becomes a father, he is now carrying so many burdens, some that are visible, some that are invisible. He has got so much weight upon himself. So because of that pressure and the pressure of wanting to put food on the table, sometimes he cannot get to that point where he can fill in all the gaps that is in each and every child. So if you take that time to examine and come to that place of understanding your father, you extend forgiveness. I think that is the first step that we really need to do before we move on into meaningful and substantial relationships.